Hello, Facebook. If you only knew what we had to do to get here today.
I didn't think it was going to let me in.
We're in now, or we're live, and we can say welcome to the show. Yeah, I mean, this is, well, I set the show up for 5 o'clock in the UK, but I'd totally forgotten that the clocks changed, didn't they, in the USA over the weekend. And that meant that we had to do a bit of quick maneuvering to get today's show on the road. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to refresh my browser, and hopefully it will show that we're live. And I've got a new notification that we are live. So I'm just waiting for it to come through, and we can start with the show. And welcome to the person watching us. If you'd like to say hello, we'll feature your comment on screen. Yeah, now I've got to do two things before we get started. One is to make sure that the show is actually there, and it must be, as we actually have a viewer. So that's pretty good. If you're watching the replay, we're just going to be at 6 and 7s for a few minutes and say hello to Carlos, because I need to do something. And what I'm going to do, as soon as I get this, I can't find out where we are. Where are we? Hang on.
I don't know. Look at you.
Right, okay.
We're somewhere.
I found us. So what I'm going to do, sorry about this. All right, is I'm going to take that out and press through. Oh, good. Just right.
You think this was our first time?
We are somewhere. Right, what I'm going to do is I've now found where we're live, and what I can do now is I can share my desktop, which is what I'm going to do. And I'm showing it full screen so you can see it. And I'm actually in ManyChat. And because we didn't schedule this show, we have the problem that I wasn't able to change the post. So I'm going to change the post now to the one that we're on, which is that one. And I'm going to confirm that we have a bot running. And I'm going to go into Facebook and edit the text, edit the video. And this is going to be good if it works, Tina.
On the fly bot.
So it's on the fly bot. Type guest to join us. And I need to give the video a title these days. Do you know they've changed the editor? And you now need to give the video a title, otherwise they won't let it. Save. Every video has got to have a title. So I'm saving that. Right, and back to the growth tools. I've confirmed that we've got a bot running. I go next, and you get a message. Hello, your name, and please type yay. And then you get a message with a link. And all I need to do now, having done all that, is save that messenger bot and set it to active. So now I can say, come back here eventually and come back to us. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to setting up a messenger bot. And you can now type guest in the comments and you can join us on camera.
Awesome.
It took about 2 or 3 minutes. So that was a demonstration of guest. Did you catch Owen's show last night?
Yes, I saw the replay.
You caught the replay. So we can announce then that Be Live TV has released a call to action feature, the CTA.
Awesome. So that's what you see at the bottom here. Our little scrolling message is our call to action feature that is brand new.
Indeed, and we can change it.
We can. In case we have another call to action. In case we just implemented a new bot on the fly.
Well, indeed, and I've even got one for. Wait a minute, I think I did it. I don't know. I'll find it later probably. But the thing is that you can hide them as well. Because if I don't know about you, but if that was going across the screen through
all
the
the
hour
time.
of
It would drive me crazy. Yeah.
you and me both. So if you are going to use the calls to action, then from my point of view, if you use them sort of sparingly, really, when you want to emphasize a point, I mean, we've still got the ability to use
Lower
the normal
thirds.
ones.
Yeah.
The normal lower third. So there's no real reason to go overboard.
You should think about it just like you think about doing your call to action we do call to action every time we do the show, but we're not doing it constantly throughout the whole show. We have strategically placed call to action moments, and you would do the same with that. You wouldn't have it running the whole time. That to me, that looks like an emergency broadcast or something wrong if it's just scrolling on there constantly.
Yeah, I mean, when we normally say please share, we say with feeling, not scrolling across the screen. Yeah, all right. I'm just sharing into Be Live in 5, and then we're good to go.
I don't
Be
know
Live, sorry.
If anyone else is having issues. I have allergies still, so excuse me if I have to tissues handy all the time. I couldn't get into the show. It wouldn't recognize my camera. It wouldn't let me connect my camera until I turned it down. So I actually had to turn it down to like 480p or something to get it to let me connect for some reason. I'm not sure if that's something going on my end or a Facebook issue. So I just wondered if anybody else was having problems getting connected.
Well, it'd be good to know, wouldn't it? Because generally speaking, it works fine, but occasionally when things do go wrong, you wonder whether it's your end or Be Live end or whatever.
Yeah. It's interesting. I've had it not allow me to connect at all. I just haven't been able to connect, but I've never been able to connect if I bump it down. So that's interesting to me. And I don't think it's internet related. My internet speeds are crazy out here. So
I only wish I had the internet speed that you have.
We should what?
I wish I had your internet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wish everybody did. It would make everything easier.
We've got British internet. I mean, the only person I know with decent internet is John Upton, and he's blessed. Right? I mean, he's with Virgin, and that appears to be one of the best companies to be with if you want high speed. But he also lives just outside our second largest city, which is Birmingham. So that's Birmingham, UK, not Birmingham, Alabama. No. I don't think he's been there. I know he's been to the States, but I don't think he's been to Alabama.
Yeah.
Yet. The other thing we've been finding, as we know, we used to sort of think about Facebook reach. Well, Facebook are now actually hiding shows. We know this. Michelle, who watches our show on Thursday morning, came along to my profile at 10 o'clock and couldn't see it. Wasn't there. But we were live. So there's some shenanigans going on. And then against that, when we went live with David Burrows yesterday, people saw us straight away.
Interesting.
It is well, frustrating is a good word as well.
It's very frustrating.
Well, you know that when you go live, you want to reach a certain audience. I mean, we know we enjoy going live. There's no problem with that. We'd go live if nobody watched us. But it's a lot better if there are people to do that. I mean, you'd think that people would start rushing in because we've got the new feature.
Yeah. Well, running. If being a social media, that's what I do for a living. It's really frustrating when you can't, you don't really know from day to day what's going to work and what's not going to work. The only thing we know for sure is if you pay, you get seen. So, we have come to the realization, and it's fine that you have to pay to play, but it's certainly a reality over the last 2 weeks for us. And even if that sounds awful, you have to pay to play, but it's not, you don't have to spend thousands. I mean, if you're willing to, spend $100 a month on advertising on Facebook, it's going to really make a difference in who's getting to see you. So yeah, I think it's a good investment, and I don't think it's too much to ask. It's just frustrating from the organic side of things, you always want to do as much as you can organically without having to pay. And it's just really trying to figure out what exactly is going to work to get organic reach. And we used to be able to rely on video to do that, and especially live. And now we can't even say that that holds true.
Well, I mean, it's just confusing. The whole thing is
very
confusing. I mean,
confusing.
there's a discussion in Belivers the other day, which started off, Facebook is dead, long live YouTube. And which is quite a statement to make. And it's by somebody who's a Belive user and broadcasts on Facebook. And he's got quite a big following in the hundreds of thousands. And he was bemoaning the fact that only 1% of his people had actually reached. So 100,000 fans on his business page, but only 1% actually saw his videos. And then, well, I had a chat with him and said Facebook is alive, and we're all sort of support each other.
Yeah.
And then Morris Smith came along, and Morris Smith firing all 6 guns at the same time is quite a sight to behold. And she gave forth a brilliant commentary on the current state of Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And today she was joined by Stephen Aitchison. So what started off as a negative post has turned out to be a font of information from both Morris Smith and from Steve Aitchison. So
yeah, they're definitely the organic reach is not dead. Just a prime example for one of the pages that I manage, there was a dog showed up at the place of business. And so, of course, the owners of the business have taken the dog in and feeding and caring for it. And they've posted photos asking, do you know who this dog belongs to? Let's get it back to its owner.
Yeah.
That post organically has reached about 18,000 people.
Right.
So organic reach is still possible. You just have to find what resonates with your audience in order for you to get that kind of reach, so that tells me that it's possible. It's just, I have to figure out how to appeal to my audience to get that kind of engagement on other posts. So it's a little more work, but, at the same time, it was, it gets heartening to see that, it's still possible to reach people organically without paying. You just have to find out what you need to be posting to make that happen. So, we're working on it. That's all we can do is just work and watch. And I think anytime there's an algorithm change, there's kind of this upheaval at the beginning and things level out.
Well, that's right. I mean, I was starting to think that everything was starting to turn around, because the viewer numbers for David Burrows yesterday and for April were up on previous weeks, which, and I thought that's the way to go. Brilliant. So we'll see. And it obviously, with a new algorithm in place, it's going to take a while before it actually bites. I mean, I can make a prediction now that in 2 minutes' time, people will actually find us, which would be good. And I can also,
we absolutely have learned that shorter live video is not better. We've been told and heard over and over consistently that shorter videos are better. Attention spans are short on internet, and you need to make sure that your video is like 60 to 90 seconds, right?
Yeah.
And so we've created all these little short videos, and we've gotten used to that kind of those kinds of things that we develop. But that's absolutely the opposite for live. Facebook tells us that we should go 10 minutes or more with live video, and people aren't even seeing us in the first 90 seconds. So we're shooting ourselves in the foot for sure if we do that.
Indeed. I mean, the longer the better. I mean, most shows are sort of an hour long, which gives people a chance to catch up. Mm-hmm. And the thing is getting the balance though between hitting the ground running in the first 5 minutes, which I didn't achieve today, and and sort of being ready for people who do join in around the 15-minute mark. Although having said that, you don't have to. You don't have to watch us today. But right, talking of watching, have you seen Watch Party?
I have seen it. I've not done anything with it. I mean, I haven't. I've seen it being discussed on the Belivers group, but I haven't had time to explore watch party. So,
yeah. Do you have it in your groups?
No,
you noticed?
I don't know. Not that I know of. I haven't checked.
Well, that's the thing. It's only rolled out into certain groups. I've got it in. It's in Belivers, and I've got it in 2 other groups as well. And I've got the feeling that this is going to be, would you like to appear on camera again? Because nobody knows what to do with it. Yeah. You know, I mean, this morning I was chatting with Eileen Smith and with Kevin Arrow inside a watch party. We were watching Owen's show, a replay of it. And that's playing in the background, and you're chatting away to people you either don't know or getting to know. And obviously Eileen and I have known each other for a while. And Kevin too. So we were chatting about things not related to Owen. And I think that's what's going to happen. People are going to go in and watch a video and just start talking to each other.
Yeah. Well, that's what Facebook wants us to do.
Well, what happens is if somebody's inside the show and they tag you, then it will come upon your personal profile in notifications in a normal way. So you know somebody wants you to go and join in on a watch party. And you can also invite people in. So if you were feeling in a forceful mood, you could say, right, I'm going to play this video at 5 o'clock and people are going to come in and watch. So you can do that as well. But it's because it's new, because it comes with no explanation whatsoever. Just none. I mean, you search for Facebook Watch Party and all the posts on Google, in Google search engine, are all from January when they announced it.
Yeah.
There is nothing anywhere about how it runs.
We have, speaking of things that get confusing, when you have several pages that you manage, whether they're your own or they're for clients, and there's not consistency in what's offered there as far as, I don't want to say services, but the options that you have for managing your page, when they're not consistent, that's really frustrating too. It's just like, so I have this ability to add this in this group, but then when I go to this other group, that's not even an option yet. And sometimes that's a long time waiting. I'm still waiting for the ability in some of the groups, in most of my groups. In fact, I think I only have one group where if you have your group set to like school or class, then you can do the little, I'm talking, I can't remember what it's called, but that's only available in one group that I have. There are other groups that it would be more effective in for me to use, but it's not available. And I noticed under Insights on some of my pages, under Insights, the options down the left-hand side, when you click on Insights on your page are different. So I can go to Insights on one of my pages and the options will be like overview, promotions, followers, likes, post, events, videos, people, messages, and API. The API I've never even noticed. Maybe it was there before, but I haven't noticed it. And there's like no information there when you click on it. I'm like, what is this even supposed to be telling me? But if I go to another page, the option under Insights for me to view are completely different than what's on that page.
Yeah.
And so, even putting together reports, like monthly reports for analytics for my clients, is just like a different process for different pages.
It's crazy, isn't it?
So
consistency is not there.
No, the consistency will be nice when they get it figured out. But for now, I just work with what we have.
Yeah. And things change. And they change, and sometimes you notice, sometimes you don't. I've got a question in the Be Live Advice student group today. We've got 6 questions actually from the same person, and answered all the questions. Then she's going to broadcast into a group, and you can't embed a group video on WordPress or anywhere. There's just no embed code. There's no facility because it's in a group. So the next question was, how do you download from a group? Well, I went to my video that I did some time ago. Well, only last year in actual fact. And then I thought I'll just check it against what you do now. It was totally different. So I just had to.
I have one page, only one of my pages, and I manage about 30. So out of all of those, I have one page that whenever you, when you post a video, for example, the look, like the user experience for posting that video and how you put in your title and stuff is completely different from all the other pages.
Yes.
just on that one page. I like it better. I hope they switch on to that eventually, but it's been that way for well over a month, and none of the other pages have gotten that option yet. Yeah. So it's really strange.
Well, you don't know where you are, do you? I mean, quite simply. I'm just going to check. Yeah, we are live on my page, but I don't think anybody can see it really.
Yeah, we rarely have this issue with not having people viewing live. So yeah, it's frustrating. You know, we all complain about Facebook. It's still a great platform. It's just, you know, you have to relearn how to use it. They've changed so many things, and it's just going to take time for us to figure out what works now, what doesn't.
Indeed. And we had a viewer for a moment then. Yeah. They've gone. Oh, dear.
Goodbye.
Oh, it's okay. We could run another call to action. I asked whether you could actually vary the speed of these, and the short answer is you can't.
Yeah, that looks really fast on the back
end. It does,
end.
yeah.
What does
Whereas
it look like
that
on the front end?
That one, when this one comes around, it's thank you for watching, and that's, yeah. And the less text you have,
the slower it goes.
The slower it goes. So
this should be the opposite, because you have to read. You need longer to read a longer sentence, so it should go slower the longer the text is.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Hang on a minute.
They'll improve it. You know, we get new things from Be Live, and then they always end up tweaking it and making it better. So
yeah,
we'll get there.
Yeah, I've had fun with the calls to action. I think you can set up different ones for different shows, and providing you don't annoy people, then you can use them. But I mean, what you can't do is you can't put, as we just noticed, you can't put a long text in, because it just goes by too quickly.
I can read fast, but
not that fast. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've been waiting. I asked the question this morning because Owen's show last night said produced by, and it wasn't Owen, it was produced by another guy. So I said, do we have co-producer yet? Because that would be handy for both of us, where
absolutely.
We can. And it looked like, I mean, Owen wasn't touching anything. He was just talking. Mm-hmm. Somebody else was controlling it. Yeah. Somebody else was putting the text on the screen. Somebody else was doing the camera shots. Everything that was being done was by somebody producing the show. So I went on to Slack this morning and I asked the straight question, do we have co-producer? And the answer came back that no, Owen and let his friend borrow his profile.
Gotcha.
And so, okay.
But in the look of the broadcast that he did,
yeah,
it looks completely different than normal Be Live. You know, it has him, like, for us. So right now, for example, if you look at the live broadcast of us, you got the two images of us, and then you've got the little black with the triangles inside of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I guess because he's full screen and he has some kind of, does he have some kind of frame around it? What is this that he's got going on here?
Yeah, I think he could be a frame, but he's got something top left, hasn't he? Which we can't do.
Yeah, I can't figure out.
He's got a good designer, because
it doesn't look like he's using Be Live.
It's Be Live disguised. Well, it had to be using Be Live because it's show on the BeLive.tv page. But as you say, it doesn't look like it.
It doesn't look like it.
Totally different. I mean, when Jeff does a show, he brings a production number with him, but we do know it's still on Be Live.
Yeah.
And you're getting the similar thing with Owen. And sort of, there's a difference between the professionally a produced show and a show like we're doing. Well, this is the show that everybody, virtually 99% of the people on BeLive.tv do, which is just come in, set your camera up, and go live on screen.
Yeah, and I know, I know that because when we used to do Go Live Geeks and stuff, we had all the production. We had the studio, we had the green screens, we had all the different things that we could do to make it look like it wasn't a BeLive show. I mean, but I just wondered if this was. It doesn't look like a frame because it takes up too much of the screen. Like his image, the video itself is really small compared to the things around it. I don't know that I would want to do that. I would rather have my video larger rather than have all this stuff around it and the video small in the center. I just thought it was an interesting look, and I wondered what he did to achieve that look.
We shall have to invite him on the show and ask him exactly what he's doing. I'm just gonna. I like the 4 squares though, the 4 rectangles. I mean, that looks. Yeah.
Yes. Unless somebody is coming in with their mobile and they have the vertical instead of the landscape, then it messes up the 4 squares.
True. And the other thing is that, we're diagonal at the moment, and in order to change that, I would have to. Let's see what we can do. Drop the photo. Drop myself back.
Stephen, did you mean to drop yourself?
that I carried on talking and nobody heard me. That didn't work. Right, okay, we can go for it now because we actually have people watching. Hello, Facebook. We're going to start again. It's 4:27 in the UK, and Tina, what's the time with you?
11:27. So
11:27.
Yeah. We were talking. We like the 4 squares or rectangles as it is. I still wish we could drag those around. Is that what you're saying? So depending on what order you come into the broadcast, you have no control on where you show up whenever you move around the boxes. You just show up dependent upon when you entered the broadcast rather than where I want you to be on the screen. So
it takes a lot of juggling to actually. It's not easy, is it? I mean, we could do that. That's pretty good. Yeah. And that's not bad either. But it would be good if we could actually select the order. Yes. And hello to everybody who's watching. This is, we can tell you what it is. This is, you must be a fast reader, but it says this is Talk Show with Tina Shank and Stephen Healy. We're in party mode because we're actually enjoying using the calls to action on BeLive. What I've actually done with the calls to action, I'll drop those photos down for a minute. What I've done with the calls to action is I've actually put them into agenda lists, which means I can save them and I can bring them back at any time and change them. So I've got 2 agenda lists, one which is for all shows and one which is just for Talk Show. And if you want to know how it's done, there is a video in the BeLivers group.
It's a new feature.
Yeah, it's a totally new feature, totally unexpected. Just to shout out, we would like to see the co-producer feature as well. That would be most handy. So it can then, given the situation, if you were running a news show, to have a news ticker going across the bottom, that would work. Mm-hmm. Or if you were doing the topics, that would work as well. And hello, Mohammed. And Mohammed's saying, hi, Tina and Stephen. Thanks for sharing your wisdom. Exploring how to use BeLive for Talk to the World. Is there a way to slow speed the CTA text?
Not yet.
Not yet. The first thing I did this morning before I made my video about it was to ask the question, can we change the speed of it? And Tina's quite correct. At the moment, we can't. You can change the speed of it simply by varying the length of the text. And the more text you put on screen,
Yeah, it's counterintuitive because the longer the text, the faster it goes.
Indeed.
So when you have one word to read, you can take your time. If you have 12 words to read, you should be a speed reader.
Right. And I'll read what it says. If you want to join us on screen, please type guest, GUEST, and you can then join Tina and I on camera. And we'd love to have a chat. So just type guest, and you can join us on camera if your camera ready.
Or if you're not, because I'm not. My morning got away from me. I overslept and I had to rush to get the kids out. And then
yeah, you were saying?
I had like 500 messages this morning for things that needed to get done. And yeah, so I actually am dressed, but this is my robe that I had on because I was cold and had planned to take it off and put on a sweater before we went live. And then my camera couldn't connect. And yeah, so here I am.
Okay.
We'll pretend this is a sweater.
Well, this clock change. I mean, Jeff was saying, a point of note, Mohammed, you should get a message in Messenger in a moment with the link, and I tested it and it works. Jeff was saying, Florida, this is the last time the clocks change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're hoping that we go that route too. So it's kind of up for discussion, but no decisions have been made that I'm aware of. So I don't know. It makes no sense. There's no reason for it.
Well, we done it. We do it principally because the Scotland, the farmers in the north of Scotland have a very short day if we don't. So that's part of the origin of it. I mean,
but you don't. Your clock just says a different number. But you get the same amount of daylight. Your clock doesn't determine how much daylight you have.
Yes, it does. We'll have to discuss this because it in fact it does. It means that it's if you don't do it, then it's darker in the morning, and the farmers we have to get up and milk the cows, etc. Are doing that in the dark, and I wouldn't like to be milking cows in the dark.
You just get up later or sleep later. It's still the same amount of daylight.
If you get up later, if you got up an hour later, for argument's sake, yeah, then your deliveries to the milk depot would be an hour late. Their processing would be an hour late, and when you get up and go to the store and try to buy any milk, there won't be any because the farmer got up an hour late.
And I think if I were a farmer, I would just get up when the sun rises. I don't care what time. I don't care what the clock says. I just get up when the sun comes up.
If we could all do that, that would be brilliant. Yeah, I mean the chickens. Let's talk chickens for a moment. The chickens get up when sunrise and they go to bed at sunset.
And they don't even have a clock that tells them that the sun is up.
No, but they have an internal clock which tells them when it's time to get some food.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that drives me crazy, though, because my internal clock still tells me what time it is. It doesn't matter what this clock says.
All right. Okay. I thought I got it working. I've just posted the link, Mohammed, directly. I did do it at the last minute, so my apologies for that. I'm just going to check. Yeah, you. Just going to. Sorry, right. I'm back now. Yeah, I mean it's in two parts. When you get the first message, you've got to type yay, and then that gives you the guest link. Yeah. Anyway, we've done it directly now.
My internal clock is what woke me up this morning at 5:30, which is when I get up. Except it was 6:30 because my stupid clock had to go forward an hour when it's really still 5:30 to my brain and my body who wants to get up at 5:30. Yep. So when I say the clock doesn't determine how long the sun is in the sky, it doesn't. We go by the clock, which messes us up in terms of deliveries and when we wake up and all that. But it's still the same amount of daylight. No matter what your clock says, you can set your clock 6 hours ahead and the sun's still going to rise when it rises. It doesn't go by your clock.
No, the sun rises. Right, okay. I'm going to have to do some research on this and we'll return to the topic next week. In fact, we're in this situation because your clock's changing 11th, ours don't change the 25th for the next 2 weeks. Everything's anyway. We're going to have some better news now from as we welcome Mohammed. Mohammed, hello.
Hi, Tina and Stephen. Thank you so much for bringing me in. So I'm just start using Be Live, I think, over a few months back. So I'm just learning.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate your coming online and sharing with everybody that because there's new feature coming, everybody is kind of surprised and want to use it effectively. So that's
Indeed,
Yeah,
there are new. Sorry, Katina.
No, I was just saying we're always delighted when we get a surprise feature, and sometimes they're just little quirky things like the seasonal frames and things like that. But this was a nice. I don't think I've heard anybody ask for a call to action feature, and so it was definitely a surprise to see that pop up.
yeah, it looks actually very nice because people are used to see these text rolling on the news channels, stuff like that. So it's kind of relevant. But yeah, because they brought the feature, so maybe they fix the speed as well. So yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
I hope so. But I mean, this is the first day of actually using it, so hopefully they'll be watching the shows that go through today, and we'll make adjustments accordingly. Because as Tina quite rightly says, it's counterintuitive. The longer text should go slower than the shorter text, not the other way around.
Well, if it was developed in, with the call to action in mind, the thinking was probably going to be that this is going to be something like a website URL that's going to be scrolling or a please share, something like that. And so, but if it wasn't developed with the newscast in mind, where you could have those longer text scrolling across, then I can see why the speed wouldn't be as much of an issue if you're doing just a simple call to action. But I think people are going to want to use it for longer things, especially, people like David Burrows. He's out in his community and he covers local events. It would be a great kind of ticker solution for him to put several different things down there, and with what Mohammed is planning to do as well. So hopefully they can fix the speed where we can kind of control it a little bit, speed it up or slow it down.
Would be good. Mohammed, can you tell us about the show that you're actually doing on Be Live?
I help 2 channels to I'm kind of producer. I set up this stuff behind the scene, and I bring other people to help because we're launching it 24 hours. So there are a few people who are already working on it. I just help the setup and with the different computers. And there is one of the political campaign I'm helping with. So yeah, that's in the United States.
Well, that's interesting. Our friend Peter Stewart told us last week that a political party in the UK is actually doing a similar sort of thing. They're actually training party members how to use live video and to actually go out and promote the party using live video as opposed to any other medium. Do you think it's more effective than any leaflets or text messaging or any other method?
Because we live in the age where we tap and we get the response from the app, and so that's what we want everywhere. So we are kind of instant gratification era. So everybody want to talk to us, and we want to give the feedback, and we feel better. So this Be Live is so much convenient because there are different screen sizes, and we can read the maybe CTA or agenda items. We can the comments. We can have the person who is on the video. They can read the comment as you were showing my comment over there. So I was feeling acknowledged right away. I wrote a comment and you showed my comment. I feel acknowledged already, right? So that's how I felt, and now I can also talk to you as well. So it's so much you have so much power with a few clicks. So that is one that is the thing with the Be Live. It takes it. I think it knew that what it is, so they made the platform so much easier. And of course, because we are growing in very rapid pace, and then there is challenges, and we embrace those challenges. That's okay.
Yeah, I agree that this is a really effective platform for politics, and worked a little bit with the local politician here, and really encouraged them to use the live and using Facebook Live into the group, especially for political discussion. I think is going to be really effective. It's just getting the people to do it. So I think it's smart that they're training them to get that done.
It's that's really interesting, because if we know even little things how to do it right, and that makes so much difference.
It does. I mean, we're lucky to have this technology at such low cost. I mean, if you think you had to set up a studio of your own and then get out to the internet, the cost would be prohibitive. Whereas because we're all using this, it brings the cost down. We say hello to Corinda, and it's good to have Corinda.
It's a great way to do a town hall forum. In the past, you had to schedule a date, you had to find a location, you had to, make it or try to schedule it at a time that would be convenient for people to come out and participate and ask their questions, and do town hall forums online with this technology. It would be really simple.
Stephen and Tina, can I ask you both one question, a professional question?
Certainly.
Sure.
Okay, so let me go with ladies first. So I go with Tina. What kind of client you're looking for? You help or you serve better?
I actually serve funeral homes. I do social media marketing for funeral industry.
Is there any particular size or area they serve, or anything?
Not really. We mostly serve independently owned funeral homes, so they're smaller than, of course, the big corporate ones. But many of our independently owned funeral homes will own multiple locations, so there isn't really a size or anything. Just anyone in that industry that needs help with social media marketing, we're here.
Thank you, Tina. It's Stephen. I'll repeat the question. What kind of clients you serve the most?
I basically teach how to go on live on Be Live, and I'm going to mention it, Lightstream. With Tina, we've got the free Udemy course, and I also have 6 other courses on Udemy, all of which teach different aspects of broadcasting, or, well, repurpose.io, a whole range of things. I just enjoy what I'm doing, really. This is the greatest way to network that there's ever been, and I just enjoy helping people.
That's great. So I have another follow-up question. Do you go to different locations and show it live, help them how to do live from different conferences or town hall meetings or stuff like that, or just from their own office or the home?
We deal with people around the globe. I mean, the beauty of this is that we just need to be online and connected, and we can teach people using Be Live, using AppearIn, and it's a global thing. I mean, we've taught people in Australia, South Africa, India, Pakistan, Europe, UK, USA. I mean, we've helped quite a number of people since we started Be Live in 5, Tina and I, in June 2017, and we've gone from nothing to having 3,800 students on the Udemy course that we have. So we're global.
Yeah. Well, even when I do, like if I produce a show for someone that's on location at another location, I almost always do it from home. I've gone on location to set up more complex productions where we have multiple cameras and things like that. But for the most part, I'm here at my home office and they're wherever they are on location, and I'm just producing the show behind the scenes. Nobody ever sees me, but I'm doing it right here. So it's great.
Wow, that's incredible. And do you recommend any mic? That was my leading question, because there is because in the town hall meetings or conferences there is noise issue, and those what do you suggest to handle that noise thing?
The town halls that we've done, we've had a dedicated mic, so people have to come up to the mic to ask their questions, and then the individual speakers have a mic. And sometimes those are lapel mics, or they're just a mic that they'll pass down to each other. But we have been fortunate enough to do live broadcast from in Nashville, Tennessee. We were actually inside of a place that was set up with audio video. So we just had to tap into their audio. And so it made for a really easy way to get a crisp sound quality without having to do anything ourselves except tap in. So it definitely is an issue, I think, with noise levels when you're out in the field, whether you're covering an event or you're doing a town hall or whatever. I think people are really accepting of that. They want to see the live events. They want to feel like they're part of what's going on out there, even if they're at home watching on their phone or on their computer. So I think they're pretty forgiving as long as they can hear. I don't think people expect there to be like no sound. Even if you watch a news broadcast and, somebody's out in the field and they're covering an event from, I don't know, there's a big 5-alarm fire or something, you expect to hear the ambient noises in the background coming through. So I think it's okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Tina and Stephen. You guys doing a wonderful job, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're excited to see for us, or Stephen, I don't know, I'm down here in the South in Tennessee, not a lot of diversity down here. So it's really exciting to me to get to meet folks like Stephen and Mohammad from different parts of the world, and to get to see and learn more about where you are and, what's going on in your part of the world.
I'm in Toronto, Canada, so I was hanging out from there.
Right.
It's really exciting.
Ali, thank you for joining us, but we have a feedback. You need to wear earbuds.
Yeah, or leave the page where you're watching from,
and close the Facebook page as well. If you could get some earbuds. All right, okay, you'll be back in a moment. I mean, that's.
Yeah, my name is Mohammad Bashir, and I'm hanging out from Toronto, Canada. And last night we got some snow, so sometimes it's snow, sometimes it's good. So.
Right, we're going to try again.
We actually had a dusting of snow yesterday, even though a couple of days ago it was 70 degrees, and then it was back down to like 28 degrees. So,
right. Okay, we've got a problem. We're getting feedback. If you, just a moment. You need to do two things. Earbuds. Yeah. Okay. You've got to have earbuds on, and don't watch the Facebook show.
Yeah, you have to close the tab that has Facebook open in it, or we get the feedback loop, and we're all guilty of it. I've opened it up while on the air talking.
Well, I mean, there's a processing time between what we're seeing here and what's on Facebook, isn't there? So there's a time lag. And the most disconcerting thing is to be watching the replay, which is from 10, 15 seconds ago, and trying to talk against the voice, which, it's one way, it's just not on. And the other thing, of course, is feedback, because if you're not wearing earbuds or headphones, then unless you're lucky, you are going to get feedback. And whilst we can bear with it, anybody watching the show is going to just walk away, because I don't know whether you found this, Mohammed, but people want good sound.
Yeah, what I did before coming here, I use Be Live, so I knew the steps. I was waiting in the lobby, so I opened the thing in the another browser, and I muted that thing. I muted my Facebook Live audio, and then even the video is playing. I can watch it if I'm there or not. Still, like it's working here for us. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now this is live video, and you can see Mohammed and myself. What you can't see at the moment is Tina. Tina just disappeared. I'm sure she'll be back in a moment. This is one of the things about live video. Things are going to go wrong, and I think that sometimes people actually watch in case they do. So I'm sure Tina will be back in a moment. And I just want to check a couple of comments from Corinda. At the moment, we've got the Cheltenham Horse Racing Festival, and Corinda's a betting man, so he's asking me if I've seen the races. No, I haven't, and he is going to be betting soon. Okay, and right, okay. I'm not a betting man, and I there's only one race I actually watch every year in the UK, and that's the Grand National, which is perhaps our most important steeplechasing event of the year. But other than that, I'm not a horse person. Yourself?
Myself, yeah, I need to learn horse riding first, actually. Yeah, I'm not a horse person either. Yeah, back a few years back, I planned to learn one game or one sports which keep me active. So I learned one sport, and I tried second one. Horse riding is one of them. So it will come maybe. Then maybe I develop interest to watch the games as well. So right now, no.
No, I agree. Corinda's interest also is not just in riding. He wants to bet on the horses,
yeah,
or invest, as some call it, or lose, as others call it. Welcome back, Tina.
Thank you. I don't know what happened.
Where did you go to? Just who knows?
It let me connect with the 720p this time, though, so whatever.
Oh, brilliant! Well, every cloud. Right, and that's the other question, Mohammed. When we know that when we do the show now, it's going out in 720p, and anybody who watches the replay will get 720p. But are you repurposing your shows afterwards?
We do repurpose. Yeah. You mentioned repurpose.io. I think we use that one, or there is one other one we use it. It grab that video, and it's kind of automated.
Yes.
Yeah. So it go to YouTube and other video channels.
Yeah. Because I mean, we're Tina and I are both heavily into repurposing, and Corinda is saying, "Welcome back, Tina." There you go.
Thank you.
Right, to everybody who's watching now, thank you. Right, but if you only just started watching, you won't have seen this. Just a minute, let me get it right. BeLive.tv, I've got to do this with a straight face, honestly. BeLive TV now has calls to action which you can save in an agenda menu, and you can then use during the course of your show. Now I've set up two, one which is for all the shows that we do, and then I'm setting up a different list for different shows, and I can switch between them. And yes, we are talking to BeLive.tv about slowing them down.
Yes.
But that's the new feature this week.
So, Stephen, are you coming back at 1 after we close out here?
I'm just going to, because I got confused on the time differences. So I set the show to go at 5 p.m. in the UK, which is our normal time, because there's normally a 5-hour time difference. But this next 2 weeks, there's only a 4-hour time difference. So I've got a show on BeLive set to go on the hour. So yes, I am, Tina. I'm going to go live for 5 minutes. I'm going to talk about, what can I talk about? I'll probably talk about calls to action.
There you go.
Mohammed, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Stephen. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Before you go, where can people find you?
My ID is Join Bashir, JoinBashir, and
Brilliant.
.com is my website. It's same, joinbashir.com, LinkedIn, Facebook, everywhere. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you for joining us. Tina, right, let's get rid of the photographs and we'll go back. Just the two of us. Yeah, it's been an interesting show. It
Always
was
is.
true. Nothing ever runs totally smoothly, but we do have the fact that we've met somebody new from the States, and we've been kept company by Corinda and everyone else who's joined us. If you do join a show, I just got one thing to say before I finish. If you join a show and you don't comment, you're missing an opportunity. If you comment, your comment is featured on screen. You become part of the show forever because you do repurpose this video afterwards. And of course, you have our eternal gratitude. Tina, it's all yours.
So yeah, so Stephen, you've updated many times our BeLive in 5 free course on Udemy. Updated with the features that we added not too long ago, the four seats.
Yep.
So is there another update in the works for this, or are you going to hold off a little bit and see what else they throw at us?
Right. Well, good observation. I've actually did it today, but it's not in the free course. It's part of the paid course.
Awesome.
Which is very reasonable.
Yes.
And it covers everything. And I spent the last 2 months redoing that. Everything that's taken place. I mean, did the original course and tried to keep it up to date, but that's a pointless exercise with everything that BeLive.tv do. So I've done a complete rewrite of the course, and every single video in it is now new. So I'm going to start publicizing that tomorrow when I actually finish the task of doing it. So thank you for the mention.
Yes. Well, and check out the free course to get you started. Gives you everything you need to go live and do a great job. But if you want to get full use of this, all the bells and whistles, make sure you check out Stephen's paid course. Learn even more, and that one will always be updated as they bring on more and more and more.
It's like we used to say, like painting the fourth bridge. When you start painting one end of the bridge, you go straight across the river, and as soon as you've finished, the other end needs painting again. So, you know. So I thanks, and I can say I've not used the agenda and the scrolling thingy. We'll be back at the same time next week, which will be 12 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. in the UK, and I've got to remember that.
Do we need to change it to 1 for you? Because I just can't today because I already had something planned. But if it works better for you.
No, it was purely for my forgetfulness that I got it wrong today. Okay. And a note, I should be here with RJ Redden on Wednesday talking about bots. So looking forward to that. RJ is the best person in the world on bots.
Yes, amazing.
Yeah.
And you need to know bots.
You do.
Yeah, so be here tomorrow.
It's goodbye from Wiltshire.
Goodbye.